Welcome back to Psychology Decoded. Today we're diving into one of the most confusing transformations men ever face, the moment the woman they've loved for years suddenly becomes distant, restless, or self-focused. It's not random. It's a deep psychological shift triggered by biology, time, and unmet emotional needs. We'll decode exactly why women change after 40, and how to protect your peace, identity, and leverage when that shift happens. If you find topics like this fascinating, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Because understanding psychology is how you take your power back. It never happens overnight. What feels like a sudden change, the distance, the coldness, the lack of warmth, has been building for years. It starts quietly, not with anger, but with exhaustion. Not with arguments, but with absence. You still share a home, a bed, a life, but something in her eyes tells you that part of her has drifted somewhere you can't reach. She laughs less, she talks less. She seems fine, but the light you used to see in her is dimmer. Not gone, just buried. And this is where most men get it wrong. They think she's ungrateful. They think she's bored. But what she really is empty. Because for years she's been pouring out without being refilled. She carried the emotional weight of the family. The kids, the schedules, the meals, the moods, all while trying to keep her own identity alive underneath it. And slowly, without either of you noticing, her life stopped being hers. It became everyone else's. You didn't mean to neglect her, you just got comfortable. You assumed love was maintenance. Keep things stable, keep the bills paid, keep the peace. But what she needed wasn't peace. She needed aliveness. See, when women fall in love, they attach through emotion. When they stay in love, they attach through feeling seen. And somewhere along the way, she stopped feeling seen. Every day became a repetition of the last. The spark was replaced by routine. The connection replaced by logistics. The intimacy replaced by survival. And as the years went on, something inside her began to whisper, a small, dangerous thought. Is this all there is? She didn't ignore you because she stopped loving you. She withdrew because she stopped recognizing herself. You see, a woman doesn't leave when she's tired of you. She leaves when she's tired of the version of herself she becomes around you, when her laughter feels forced, when her needs feel invisible, when her dreams feel irrelevant. That's when the slow erosion begins. If you look back, the signs were always there. The subtle sigh when you looked at your phone instead of her. The half-hearted smile when you said, "You're overthinking again." The night she went to bed early, not because she was sleepy, but because she was lonely next to you. These are the invisible moments where connection dies, not in chaos, but in quiet repetition. And by the time you notice, she's already built emotional distance to survive it. She doesn't yell, she doesn't fight, she simply stops reaching. What you're seeing now, the coldness, the disinterest, is the final stage of years of silent disappointment. She's not punishing you. She's protecting what's left of her self-respect. Understanding this isn't about guilt. It's about awareness. Because you can't rebuild connection by fixing the surface. You have to understand what broke beneath it, the slow erosion of being unseen. In the next chapter, we'll go deeper into what happens next, when biology, identity, and time collide, and the woman who once lived for her family starts asking, "Who am I without them?" There comes a moment when she looks in the mirror and doesn't quite recognize who's looking back. It's not just wrinkles or gray hairs, it's confusion. The woman who used to feel effortless suddenly feels undefined. Her body is changing, her hormones shift, her energy fluctuates, her moods swing without warning. But beneath the biology is something deeper, the loss of a role that once gave her meaning. For years, she was the center of everyone's world. The kids needed her, you needed her. Every problem had her name on the solution. And even though it was exhausting, it gave her purpose. Then slowly that purpose begins to fade. The children grow independent. The routine becomes automatic. And the world stops turning toward her for direction. That silence is louder than any argument, because now she's left alone with questions she never had time to ask. Who am I when nobody needs me? What's left of me outside this family? Most men see this as restlessness, They think she wants adventure, attention, or excitement. What she really wants is identity. At 25, she was defined by possibility. At 45, she's defined by history. Every compliment, every memory, every glance in the mirror becomes a reminder that her life has shifted from becoming someone to maintaining someone. And that shift can feel like death to her sense of self. This is the stage where many women seem unpredictable, emotional one day, distant the next. It's not manipulation, it's mourning. She's grieving the versions of herself she never got to be. Society told her to build a family, to give everything, and she did, but it never taught her how to reclaim herself once the giving was done. So she starts searching for pieces of the woman she lost. Old hobbies resurface. She changes her hair, her clothes, her habits. She craves novelty, not because she's shallow, but because newness reminds her she still exists. You might call it a midlife crisis. For her, it's a resurrection attempt. And when she doesn't feel seen or supported in that transition, the confusion turns to resentment. Resentment that you still get to chase goals while she's left to manage memories. Resentment that her sacrifices made everyone comfortable, except her. Biology amplifies it. As estrogen lowers, dopamine sensitivity changes. What once made her feel joy now barely registers. She needs stronger emotion to feel alive, laughter that's real, intimacy that's raw, adventure that's unscripted. She's not running from you, she's running from numbness. And when that feeling takes over, she doesn't plan betrayal. She plans escape. Not from the marriage, but from the emptiness. That's the identity unraveling. It's not selfishness, it's survival. If you can see this stage for what it truly is, not rejection but redefinition, you can meet it with compassion instead of panic. Because when a woman feels understood in her confusion, she begins to trust again. In the next chapter, we'll explore what happens when that need for validation leaves the home entirely. When she starts seeking proof of her worth from the world instead of from within it. When a woman forgets who she is, the world around her starts whispering new answers. It tells her, you'll feel alive again when someone reminds you that you still matter. And at first, it works in small ways. She joins a class, posts more online, updates her profile picture. She laughs again, and for a moment she feels a spark of the girl she used to be. That's the beginning of the search for significance. It's not about infidelity, it's about validation, the oxygen of a fading identity. For years, she's been praised for reliability, for nurturing, for sacrifice. But now she wants to be seen, not just appreciated. She doesn't want another thank you, she wants to feel chosen. So when a stranger notices her smile, when an old friend compliments her, when someone messages her online, something lights up inside her that hasn't in years. Not because she stopped loving her husband, but because she stopped feeling visible. The modern world makes this search effortless. With one download, she can test her relevance. A dating app isn't always about cheating. It's a mirror. Each match, each message, each tiny notification says, you still have it. That little rush of dopamine becomes addictive, because it's not the man on the screen she's drawn to. It's the version of herself she gets to feel like for a few minutes. Desired, admired, alive. And when she comes home to routine, the dishes, the silence, the familiar, it feels like withdrawal. That's why she seems distracted, why the phone never leaves her hand, why her laughter sounds different. She's caught between two worlds, the one she built and the one that makes her feel awake. The tragedy is that the second world isn't real. It's fantasy wrapped in pixels. But emotionally, it fills the gap that daily life left unguarded. If you confront her too soon, with anger, accusation, panic, she'll retreat deeper into that illusion because it feels safer than shame. But if you see what's really happening, you'll understand that she's not rebelling. She's remembering. She's trying to remember what it felt like to be admired before routine replaced romance. This phase can destroy marriages, but it can also revive them, if handled with understanding. Because what she's chasing outside is something you can still give her, the feeling of being seen without judgment. Ask yourself, when was the last time you looked at her like you did in the beginning? Curious, impressed, a little bit in awe. When was the last time you touched her like you wanted to learn her again, not like you already knew her? She isn't addicted to attention, She's starving for acknowledgement. And acknowledgement is free, but it requires presence. In the next chapter, we'll explore how the world amplifies this crisis, how constant comparison and endless scrolling make her question her worth daily, and what that does to love that's left unprotected. Every generation before her faced the same questions. Am I still beautiful? Am I still wanted? Have I done enough? But they faced them in silence. Today, she faces them surrounded by noise. The moment she picks up her phone, she steps into an emotional echo chamber, a world that reflects her insecurities back at her in perfect resolution. Every scroll shows her younger, smoother, freer versions of womanhood. Every post whispers, "You're falling behind." The comparison is relentless. 1,000 digital mirrors, each one saying, "You used to be her." And each tiny heart, each like, each fleeting compliment becomes a lifeline. Not because she's vain, but because the screen gives her what life stopped giving her: feedback. For 20 years, she didn't need applause to know she mattered. Her family, her role, her responsibilities kept her anchored. But now that her world has quieted, her reflection has become her loudest companion. Social media promises connection, but delivers performance. And the performance never ends. She polishes her posts, filters her photos, tells the world she's fine, then lies awake wondering why the validation doesn't last. It's a dopamine trap, a feedback loop built to exploit emotion. Each burst of approval releases a chemical spark, but the spark fades fast, leaving emptiness deeper than before. So she scrolls again, hoping for another hit. It's not excitement anymore, it's anxiety disguised as relevance. You'll see it in her eyes. She's there, but not present. Her mind is somewhere inside the glow of a screen, measuring herself against illusions that no one can live up to. And when you try to compete, when you demand attention, when you ask why she's on her phone again, it only deepens the divide. Because to her, you're questioning the one place she still feels seen. What she needs isn't control, it's compassion. The world she lives in is engineered to make her feel not enough. Every woman inside that echo chamber is fighting the same silent war, a war between who she is and who she's told to be. If you can understand this, you'll stop taking her distraction personally, because she's not choosing the phone over you. She's choosing relief over silence. When you create moments of real presence, small, unfiltered, grounded, you break the pattern. You remind her that she doesn't need an audience to exist, that being with you, in calm attention, feels safer than performing for the world. That's how the noise starts to fade. In the next chapter, we'll talk about what to do next, how to lead her back, not with confrontation or control, but with empathy, direction, and renewed presence. Because understanding her storm is only half the battle. Learning to guide her out of it, that's where love begins again. Now that you understand what she's been fighting, the question becomes, what do you do with that knowledge? You can't rewind the years, you can't erase the distance, but you can rebuild connection, not through promises, but through presence. The first step is listening without defense. When she speaks, don't rush to correct or explain. She isn't asking for solutions, she's asking to be understood. Validation doesn't mean you're wrong, it means you're safe to talk to. The second step is presence. Put the phone down, meet her eyes. Listen until you hear the emotion beneath the words. When a woman feels truly seen, her nervous system relaxes, and that's when warmth begins to return. The third step is leadership, not control. Plan something simple but intentional. A walk after dinner, a day trip with no schedule. Don't ask, what do you want to do? Lead with confidence, invite her into the experience. Polarity revives through direction, not debate. Then comes curiosity. She's not the same woman you married, and that's not a problem. Ask questions again. What inspires her now? What scares her? Who is she becoming? Show her that your interest in her evolution didn't die when routine began. Finally, bring back admiration. Not empty flattery, but genuine recognition. Notice what makes her beautiful now, not what she used to be. Tell her when she's strong, when she's kind, when she's radiant in ways youth could never imitate. Because she isn't chasing youth, she's chasing significance. And the man who gives her that through truth instead of fantasy becomes irreplaceable. Reconnection isn't built in grand gestures. It's built in micro moments of presence repeated daily until safety returns. When she feels your steadiness, when she trusts that you see the woman she is and the woman she's becoming, the validation she once searched for outside finds its way home. Love doesn't die in midlife, it evolves. It asks both people to grow together instead of apart. And when you meet her storm with calm, her fear with understanding, her distance with curiosity, you stop being part of the problem and become part of her peace. That's the way back. Not power, not punishment, presence.